A luxury hotel by the shores of the Indian Ocean. It's here that the French team have decided to base themselves during the World Cup in South Africa. The English had originally wanted to stay here too, but their coach Fabio Capello had other ideas. He didn't want the players training at sea level when the matches would be held some 1,500 metres higher up. It's left the French team mulling their options.
If you
stay at sea level the whole time and then on the day of the competition climb up to 1,700 metres, well, you'll be handicapped compared to another team which has been staying at that altitude.
aura séjourné à cette même altitude.
The higher you go, the thinner the air. This means less oxygen for your muscles and lower performances for athletes. The body eventually compensates for the lack of oxygen by producing more red blood cells, but this acclimatisation is a long process. That's why most of the 32 teams competing in the World Cup have chosen to base themselves at altitude, even though the training is less intense here.
We have to get used to the altitude, so that's why we're 2.5 weeks before our first game. For everybody this is a new experience to train and to play on altitude.
And the altitude has other effects quite apart from the physical. With a lower air resistance, the ball moves in a different way. The Algerian team was so concerned about this change, they had a long stay in the Swiss Alps before heading to South Africa. And for top performers, every little bit helps.
We mustn't exaggerate the importance of altitude. It's not going to be the deciding factor, but because we're at a very high level, it's true that there's a 2 to 3% difference in performance, and that could be the 2 or 3% that makes the difference between winning the final and not winning the final.
A final that will be held at more than 1,700 metres above sea level, the highest of all this year's World Cup stadiums.